Welcome in if you are a first time viewer. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer. Thank you for your likes, your comments, and subscribes. And to those of you who have booked a personal reading with me, please keep in mind that these are general messages, so do not take them personally. Take the messages that resonate and leave the rest behind. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can find that information in the description box below. So let's get into this message. What message do you have for the collective at this time? Help me to articulate a clear and concise message in order for it to be received in the way that you want it to best be received. Help me to see what it is that I need to see to get the message across as clear as possible. And help me to deliver any messages that you do want to do in order to serve your highest good, for the highest good of humanity, or harm to none. What messages do you have for the collective at this time? What messages do you have for the collective at this time? There's a lot of groundedness in the energy right now, right? A lot of releasing a sense of self-reflection. A lot of it's almost as if you're like going through the process of letting go, right? So that you can accept where it is that you are moving forward, right? There's a lot of acknowledgement within the reality of something, right? The illusions are being removed at this time, right? You're no longer um, even able to sit in the energy of illusions, right? It's almost as if this space won't allow you to accept the perception of something, right? It's almost as if the reality is being placed in the forefront of you and you have no choice but to see things for what it is. And so what you do with that information at that point is a conscious choice, right? Because the subconscious is being brought to the forefront. So whatever it is that you were allowed to not see in the past, because it is now being brought to the forefront, every decision that you make based on the information that you have received is a conscious decision. You are consciously choosing to exist within a certain pathway, within a certain existence of what it is, um, based on what the information that you are receiving at this time, right? Committed. hmm Committed to the choices. You have no other option. But if you look closely, like this is a ring, right? So there can be like some sort of engagement, an engagement of some sort. Hmm, that's interesting. That's not going to resonate for everybody. Loving, hmm with peaceful, right? Okay. Seductive at the bottom of the deck. Okay. So again, this is you consciously choosing to bring something into play, right? Consciously choosing to commit yourself to something, consciously choosing to engage within something, right? Again, that is, it can be a person for some of you, it's a lifestyle, for some of you, it's a career path, for some of you, it is a circumstance, a new skill set, a new talent, a new gift, a new business, a new opportunity, right? But whatever it is, you're choosing to commit yourself to some sort of engagement that brings you peace. It brings you love. It brings you security. It brings you safety. And it also creates that space, right? With this seductive energy, I'm getting like it creates that space for you to open up new opportunities, right? It kind of encourages your creative juices. It kind of helps you to bring things into fruition, right? So whatever this energy is that you are committing yourself to, it creates the opportunity for you to open more doors, right? More doors than you would be able to create simply by yourself, right? So again, if you did not choose to align yourself with whatever it is that you are committing to in this moment, you would not be able to create as much as you would within this new opportunity, right? This new opportunity is going to bring wealth to a whole new level for you, right? It's going to bring love to a whole new level, right? It's going to show you peace and joy and harmony in such an expansive way that you have yet to experience, right? You've never experienced peace in this way. You've never experienced life in general in this way, right? You've never experienced love in this way, right? It's this is a new beginning. You have the one and the nine, right? That's again an ending and a new beginning within self, right? A new sense of alignment within self, a new sense of commitment to self, right? Clarify committed. This seductive energy feels like sacral chakra. Again, the creation of something, giving birth to something. So maybe you're giving birth to new ideas, maybe you're giving birth to new businesses, maybe you're giving birth to a physical baby, right? It's going to resonate for each of you differently. But there's something that you are bringing to life. You're breathing life into something within this new space, right? Because this new pathway that you have decided to embark on is going to make you, again, feel safe and secure within bringing these things into life, right? It's going to feel like a stable home, right? A place where you can ground yourself in, right? A place that provides protection, right? You don't have to feel combative within this space because it embraces you with a sense of love and security, right? In a way that you've never experienced before. Clarify committed. Queen of Cups is very loving with the Ace of Swords, right? And you know that there is an abundance of love within this new look, the Nine of Wands, right? Okay, so it's almost as if you are willing to accept the truth, right? You're willing to persevere um, through whatever it is that you, with the moon underneath, right? So again, you may have been disregarding your feelings towards something, disregarding your intuition as it relates to something. Maybe you were intuitively guided to pour into something, right? Again, whether this is an idea, a business, a career path, a talent, a gift, a person, right? You were kind of blocked off, you were kind of defensive towards what it is that you were being intuitively guided to pour into, right? But there is a sense of awareness, right? There's a sense of truth, a sense of knowing that there is a true level of depth within something that you cannot ignore, right? You can no longer hide the opportunity that something brings. You cannot um, ignore the awareness that something brings, right? The love and the opportunities, right? The Queen of Cups is very nurturing. She's very loving. She's very caring, right? She's the mother energy, right? She's someone who is she just has a lot of love to give, right? It's like an unending um depth of love, right? There's always more, right? She's always surprising you with more. There's always more to offer, always more to give, right? She is very free flowing, right? And so again, within this energy, there is just like a knowing that indulging in this intuitive guidance, right? And indulging in this knowing of what you had, um, that there's just gonna it's just gonna create an overflow of something, an overflow of peace, an overflow of harmony, an overflow of balance, an overflow of effort, attention, right? Whatever it is that you are choosing, um, or that you're choosing to commit yourself to, you're choosing to discipline, you're choosing to engage within at this point in time, it's going to create an abundance of security, an abundance of love, an abundance of safety, an abundance of protection, right? An abundance of warmth, right? There's just such a giving, a caring, a nurturing, a loving, it's just like that loving mother, right? Who just gives like such warm hugs, and you just like you don't want to let go because it just provides like it's like when she embraces you, you just like immediately melt into her arms. And that's kind of what it feels like this opportunity is going to bring, right? Again, whether that's a business, an idea, a gift, talent, person, is going to resonate for each of you differently. But whatever this is, that is what this is going to bring to you, right? It's going to bring that sense of just like surrender where you just can't help but to be vulnerable, right? You have no other choice, right? I mean, you do have a choice, but being in this space, right? Being in this energy, you know that there's a safety and a security within that level of vulnerability, right? Where um, you do have a choice to be vulnerable, but just like existing within that energy, existing in this Queen of Cups energy, it kind of like makes you want to melt. It makes you want to conform, right? Because it's free flowing water, right? It makes you want to just like surrender. It's almost as if you're just kind of like, just like imagine just like floating in the pool on your back, right? Where you just kind of just like surrender to the flow of the water. You're just floating on top of it. You're not fighting against it, you're not swimming against it. You're not trying to go against the flow, right? You just kind of just like let it take you, and it makes you feel so free. It makes you feel so warm, right? I'm also seeing like the sun just kind of like shining and giving you like this sense of clarity, this sense of like knowingness, right? Where you are able to kind of accept your emotions, accept your being in all of who you are without judgment, without fear, right? Without a sense of resistance or without existing in the space of chaos, right? There is no chaos. It's only peace, warmth, clarity, security, safety. I don't know how else to, it just feels very nurturing, very loving, very free, and you know that engaging within this whatever it may be is going to bring that energy to you, and so it almost as if you just kind of want to fall into that space, right? You're willing to surrender to that energy of acceptance. Clarify peaceful, because it also will make you aware of who you are emotionally, who you are internally, how you give, how you love, right? It's going to make you aware of um, how you commit to love, what it is that you value within love, what it is that you value within that sense of nurturing, right? Again, whether this is loving a business, loving a career path, or it, again, it's you know, clarify peaceful. The world is going to change your life, is going to shift your whole existence to pinnacles, right? It's going to take you to a place of balance. It's going to take you to a place of freedom, right? It's going to bring you to the Page of Swords, this place where you are willing again to discover this aspect that you didn't know existed, right? Again, this is almost like you being the center and you kind of like magnetizing this to you, right? This gives me like a Jupiter energy, which is Jupiter represents like luck, it represents wealth, it represents prosperity, it represents money, it represents abundance, right? Because Jupiter is the planet of like prosperity, prosperity within your love, prosperity within your finances, prosperity within like it just prosperity in general, right? In all sources. And so there's going to be a balance here, right? Within this new world, right? Again, that freedom. You feel connected to yourself by committing to whatever this is that you're choosing to commit to, whatever it is that you're choosing to engage yourself to, right? Because again, that ring is like staring at me. It's almost as if like again, it's an engagement, not necessarily an engagement to another person, although for some of you it may be. but an engagement within yourself, an engagement within a new idea, a new business, a new mindset, a new lifestyle, a new environment that you're placing yourself in, a new career path, new business that you may be exploring, right? But whatever it is, it's going to teach you something about yourself, right? About how you give and how you receive, right? How you're balanced, right? And how you're juggling in some areas, right? It's going to teach you about your ability to juggle and your ability to balance, right? Your ability to create a firm stance, right? And also your ability to be vulnerable and how to kind of not necessarily conform, but to surrender. Again, I'm like seeing you just kind of like floating in that pool, kind of just like surrendering to what is, right? You're going with the flow of the water. You're not swimming, you're just kind of floating on top of it, allowing it to take you. And you have this sense of trust and faith that it's going to again provide you or bring you to a place that is safe and secure, that allows you to be free, that allows you to be who you are, right? You don't have to hide, you don't have to protect yourself, because whatever this is going to add to that protection in which already exists within your realm, right? Purify loving. Three of Pentacles is a partnership, death, a transition. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A transition within, look, the Hierophant, right? With the Five of Cups, a transition to how you, um, again, so the Death card and the Five of Cups, there's definitely an energy of grief here, where you are kind of moving out of that space of feeling of loss, feeling of not having enough, feeling of not being loved correctly, feeling of not having love at all, right? Feeling of giving more than you're receiving. You're moving out of that, right? Because you are now transitioning into a phase where you're more intentional and you're more conscious, right? Again, in the beginning of the video, I said there things are being brought to the forefront so that you are no longer able to ignore what it is that is existing in your subconscious. So whatever it is that you are engaging in, it's a conscious choice, right? Whatever it is that you're choosing to indulge in, there is a conscious choice, right? So if you're choosing to indulge in this lack of emotion, this lack of empathy, this lack of um, faith, this lack of love, then that is a conscious choice that you're making. And if that's your choice, then so be it, right? That's the life that you want to live. That is by all means live your life the way you want to. But if you are choosing to commit to this loving, this Queen of Cups, this overflow of abundance, then again, by all means, that is your choice. That is your vision. That's what you accept for your life, right? But whichever side that you're choosing to exist on is a conscious choice. It's a conscious effort because you're no longer able to ignore what is beyond the subconscious. It's being brought to the forefront. You are aware. So again, because you are aware, you can't say that you didn't know, right? Whatever path that you choose, there's a strong knowing. You're very much aware of what it is, right? Because the Hierophant speaks to your values, right? You have a standard now. Now whatever choice that you make is going to show you the standard that you're committing to. It's going to show you the standard in which you're connecting to, right? It's going to show you where your morals and your values lie within your own personal self. Because again, this is a conscious choice. So are you consciously choosing to live within an existence of lack, again within love or finances or peace or harmony, or are you choosing to consciously pour into something that displays abundance, right? Where do your morals lie? Where do your values and your standards lie within what it is that you are choosing to partner with, right? Within what are you choosing to team up with, right? Three of Pentacles speaks to partnerships, what it is that you are creating to expand your resources, right? So are you choosing to expand your resources within lack, or are you choosing to expand your resources within wealth, right? Again, resources speaks to currency of all kinds, not just money, but currency of all facets, right? So let's pull 4 cards. One card for what we can learn as the major lesson of this message. One card for the opportunities we can create surrounding this message. One card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. And one card for the cycles and habits we can innovate surrounding our growth and expansion regarding this message. The Hierophant also speaks to like a sense of leadership, right? So again, you're taking ownership. You are driving. You're becoming the driver of your own journey, right? You're no longer allowing life to happen for you, but you're taking control of your life, right? You're no longer allowing your circumstances to determine where it is that you go within your life, but you are using your circumstances to create the benefit, right? To create that wealth, to continue to build on top of, right? You're not allowing your circumstances to topple over you, right? You are, again, taking control. You're being the teacher, right? You're being the leader, taking that ownership over the transitions that are happening, right? And not, again, allowing them to happen to you. Because otherwise, um, it would be just like whatever job you can get, right? Instead of the job that you truly desire. And then it would just be again whatever relationship comes to you versus the relationship that has the standards that you truly desire to obtain, right? Or an idea, right? It's just choosing to kind of like allow your thought processes to kind of take over your mind versus taking control of your thoughts and allowing yourself to be the master of your own ideas, right? That's the kind of energy that's speaking of. Again, there's a transformation, a death and a rebirth, a transitioning phase. You're growing past a phase of something. You're going past a level, moving to a new level. And although it may be feeling at this moment like you're losing something, you're actually gaining something, right? Because you have a succession here. You have the Two of Pentacles moving up to the Three of Pentacles. That's a succession. You're adding on, right? Even though it may feel like, again, it may feel so. Imagine learning to juggle, right? You start off with 2 apples and then you add on a third, right? You master juggling 2 things, but now that you have mastered this level of 2, now you have to add on the third, right? And so it may feel as if you are a beginner, but you're not a beginner. You're just strengthening what it is that you have already mastered, right? You're learning a new lesson, right? You're adding on to what it is that you already know. So even though it may feel like a loss, you're actually gaining. Clarify. One card for what we can learn as a major lesson. And this, like, as you add on, it's only going to continue to multiply because you're going to continue to commit to your strength and growth. I don't think this deck wants to talk. One card for what we can learn. Wounded healer. Truth, right? Because you're no longer aware or you're no longer allowed to ignore the spaces in which you need growth. You're no longer allowing yourself to ignore the spaces in which you're being called to grow, in which you're being called to challenge yourself. Again, you've mastered the Two of Pentacles. You've mastered that sense of balance, right? You've mastered that sense of duality. Now you're being asked to master 3. You're being asked to master creation. You're being asked to master abundance, wealth, right? Succession, growth, right? So again, mastering, acknowledging the subconscious, right? Not ignoring it, but learning to, again, I don't know how else to put it. It's just that simple. You're being shown the truth and you can't ignore it. And so what you do with that truth is your choice. The truth is you've mastered that Two of Pentacles. There's nowhere to grow within that Two of Pentacles. Right? You can stay there and you can perform in front of people who are wowed by that Two of Pentacles, but really the truth is You're being called to challenge yourself to learn a new level, right? To add that third pinnacle. And so you can't ignore it. That's the lesson. You can't ignore this growth that you're being challenged to take on. One card for the opportunities we can create. Speak up, divine lineage, right? This again, it speaks to your legacy, right? You've mastered the legacy of self. You've mastered the legacy of solitude. Now you're being asked to master the legacy of growth, right? What are you leaving behind, right? How is this legacy going to affect those that come behind you, right? The people that come before you have shown you how to master that level of self, right? How to master that level of creation within your own. But now you're being asked to master that level for those that are going to come behind you. How is what you have created going to affect everybody around you, right? Versus you being focused on self, right? How are you going to continue to expand that joy, expand that sense of happiness, expand that sense of peace, right? Expand that sense of warmth and security and love that you have learned to create within yourself, right? That two of pentacles. Again, how are you going to move forward, right? The opportunities that are being brought to your forefront are encouraging your growth, right? They're encouraging your expansion. And so, again, it's your choice whether you stay within the area you are or you choose to continue to grow. The choice is yours. Nobody can tell you what to decide. You can be a master at two, or you can expand. One card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message: grief. Now, this came out in the past reading in a different deck, right? So, again, with this death card here, and I feel like it came out somewhere else. Maybe not. Oh, it was that Five of Cups. So, again, this is just clarifying, right? So, meditating and focusing on what it is that you are, not necessarily what it is that you're losing, but what is going to grow within its place, right? It's transition, right? So self reflect, right, on what it is that you are cleansing yourself from, what it is that you are growing from, right? What it is that you are purifying within this energy, within this space. One card for the cycles and habits we can innovate: giving and receiving, right? That give and take, etheric chords, what's connected to you, how, again, that partnerships, how what it is that you're pouring into is affecting you, right? How it is what you're pouring into is growing your life, right? What cycles is this creating in your life, right? What cycles is this Five of Cups creating versus this Queen of Cups, right? What cycles is this lack of love creating versus this overabundance of love, right? There's a difference between the two. And so you have to be aware and acknowledge the spaces in which you are pouring into and how it's tied to what it is that you're creating, right? Because it's not just about you. It also is affecting everything else that you're bringing life to. Again, whether you're bringing life to new ideas, whether you're bringing life to new businesses, whether you're bringing life to new gifts, talents, people, right? It it's all connected, and so you have to be aware. And because you are now aware of that, it's bringing your attention to the intention, right? It's bringing your attention to the intention of what you're creating, right? And how those things are connected and how those things are affected by that sense of self and that sense of awareness, right? But that is the message that I have for you guys. I hope that it resonated. I know that if you made it to the end of this video, you have found something in it that is worthy and valuable to you. Have a good one. Bye.